friendship bracelet tutorial, you're going to need yarn. I already have this yellow, but I have a bunch of other colors, so when I make it for you, I'm just going to use a bunch of different colors of yarn. I'm not going to do them all yellow. You need a size H hook, which is 5 millimeters. You need a needle for the very end, and this one has an eye about the width of my pinky nail. I don't know what size that is, but it needs to have a big enough eye that you can fit yarn through it. They have those at Walmart if you don't have one. And then you just need a button. I have a bunch of different buttons. I thought this blue flower would go nice with the yellow, so that's what I'll use for this one. Okay, so let's see if we can get this focused good. Just sitting at my dining room table. I hope you can see well. Okay, so we're gonna make a slip knot. Remember, you're gonna hold the yarn in your left hand and wrap it twice around your pointer finger. Put both ends of the yarn in between your middle finger and your thumb. And you're gonna pull the back loop over. Pull the new back loop over and off your finger and tighten the loop. And then you're going to stick your hook in the loop. Pull it snug, and you're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've already learned all that from the first video. You know how to chain, you know how to make a slip knot, all that. The new thing is called a slip stitch. So my left thumb is right by the first chain, right here. I'm going to put my hook through that first chain, grab my yarn, and pull through that loop and the loop that was on my hook already. That's called a slip stitch. That is going to make the buttonhole. So the button needs to be able to fit through the hole, and this one does, so we're good. You can always make it, if you get a bigger button or whatever, you can make, you know, like 12 chains or however many you need to make the buttonhole big enough. Okay? So then, let me get my tail out of the way there. It says chain 150 after you've made your buttonhole. Well, that's super easy. We know how to chain, so I'm just gonna start chaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna keep going, and I'll come back when I get to 150. It's just going to be one of those wrap around your arm several times bracelets. Super cute, super easy to make, and I'll be back. Okay, the pattern calls for 150 chains, but I just did 100 chains, and I can wrap it around my wrist 3 times, which I think is plenty. So you can do 150 if you want, or you can do 100 like I did, and I'm going to move on to adding the button. So I need to get some scissors, forgot about that. I'll be right back. So I have 100 chains, and I have my buttonhole at the beginning of the chain, and so I'm going to cut off maybe about 8 to 10 inches of a tail here, and all I'm going to do is pull with my hook and tighten that up, and then I'm going to use my tail to thread the button on here at the end. Okay, so it took me a minute to thread my yarn because I couldn't find a needle that was thin enough to get through the button but big enough for the yarn to fit through. So yeah, that took me a minute, but so I'm just going to take it through the buttonholes. I think the yarn's only going to fit one time through there, and then just go through that last chain and knot it off. so I threaded the tail at the beginning of my chain where my loop is for the buttonhole, and I'm just going to weave my tail into the chain. And if you go back and forth 3 times, it won't pull out. And I'll make it nice and secure. So that was 1. 3. And clip off the extra. And other than trying to thread the silly needle, it took me about 10 minutes or less to make this whole bracelet up, and I could go 4th time. Ta-da! You can definitely make a bunch of these. It'll go super quick, and I'll bet you could sell them for $1. What do you think? Do you like it? Happy crocheting!